Hello and welcome to Chapter 6, The Political Environment, a Critical Concern. The sovereignty of nations. It is defined as the powers exercised by a state in relation to other countries, and by the supreme powers exercised over a country's own members. Characteristics of a sovereign state. It enjoys full legal equality with other states. It is independent and free from all external control. It governs its own territory. It selects its own political, economic, and social systems, and it has power to enter into agreements with other nations. The ideal climate for a multinational firm is a stable and a friendly government. Causes of instability. Inherent instability, also political shifts during elections impact trade conditions, nationalism, animosity towards specific countries, and trade disputes. Forms of government: monarchy, dictatorship, ruled by one; aristocracy, oligarchy, ruled by a few; democracy, ruled by many. Sovereign states. Most have nominally representative governments with universal suffrage. Some countries are backsliding from democracy towards autocracy. Here in Exhibit 6.1, we can see a sampling of government types. Political parties. It is important for the international marketer to know the philosophies of all major political parties within a country. The dominant party is the one that tends to alter attitudes and the overall business climate. Know the direction each party is likely to take after a shift in power. Understand all aspects of the political landscape and be able to respond to drastic policy shifts. Nationalism. It is an intense feeling of national pride and unity. National interests and security are more important than international relations. Minor harassment and controls of foreign investment are supported. There are usually restrictions on imports, tariffs, and other barriers to trade, and citizens are encouraged to only buy domestic products. Targeted fear or animosity. There is an important distinction to be made. Nationalism is directed generally to all foreign countries. Targeted animosity is directed towards a particular country. National well-being is also most important. Trade disputes. These are worked out through the World Trade Organization dispute resolution process. So now let's look at the political risks of global business. There is confiscation, which is the seizing of companies' assets without payment. Expropriation, when the government seizes the investment but makes some reimbursement for the assets. Domestication, when the host country gradually gains control of the investment. Economic risks. We have exchange controls. This happens when there is a shortage of foreign exchange in the country and the government restricts the spending in foreign currency. This may result in the imposition of differential exchange rates for different products entering the country. Local content laws. For example, NAFTA has a 62.5% local content requirement for cars originating from the NAFTA region. Then import restrictions, tax controls, price controls, and labor problems. Labor problems refers to the unions and labor laws in foreign countries that may be stricter for international companies. Political sanctions. Nations can boycott others, stopping all trade. They may boycott or sanction against specific products. However, sanctions are usually unsuccessful at reaching goals. Political and social activists, or PSAs, and non-governmental organizations, or NGOs. PSAs participate in peaceful or violent acts to effect change. They seek to change behavior of government and corporations. Many focus on broad issues of globalizations. The internet and cell phones have become their main tools. The NGOs are involved in protests, lobbying, and collaborations with governments. Violence, terrorism, and war. Peaceful protests often turn violent. Thousands of terrorist attacks happen each year around the world. Multinationals are often targeted, and it is mainly to embarrass the government and its relationship with the international firms, also to generate funds by kidnapping executives, and to inflict terror within the country. Most U.S. attacks have been against businesses, and therefore we need to consider proximity of the violence and advice of local and foreign stakeholders. Cyberterrorism and cybercrime. Growing potential with the rise of the internet can inflict real harm. Viruses can spread and do damage quickly before being stopped. Hard to determine the source of attack. Reasons may be espionage, robbery, political punishment, and potential national security attacks. Some companies have high vulnerability, and these are the ones that are subject to political attention or unpredictable government restrictions. On the other side, we have the ones that are usually in high priority industries or are excused from taxes, duties, quotas, and controls. Politically sensitive products and issues. We have the environment, the exchange rates, the national and economic security, welfare, publicly visible subjects of public debate, or subjects associated with the country of origin. Also, public health is a subject of public debate. Firms usually attempt to predict political instability in foreign countries, as government failure is the greatest source of risk. We have Foreign Policy Magazine, which uses 12 criteria points to rank countries in its failed states index. Here in Exhibit 6.5, we can see their top 20 most fragile states. Many believe that foreign investors are self-serving. They exploit countries' wealth at the expense of the population. However, relations between governments and multinationals are generally positive if the investment improves the country's balance of payments, uses locally produced resources, transfers capital, technology, and skills, creates jobs, makes tax contributions. Also, if there is corporate philanthropy. Strategies to reduce political vulnerability and risk. Joint ventures. Typically less susceptible to political harassment, joint ventures can be with locals or other third country multinational companies. Expanding the investment base. Including several investors and banks in financing an investment in the host country is another strategy. Licensing franchising. This is a strategy that some firms find that eliminates most risk while licensing the technology for a fee. Planned domestication. In those cases in which a host country is demanding local participation, the most effective long-range solution is planned phasing out, that is, planned domestication. Political bargaining. Multinational companies clearly engage in lobbying and other sorts of political bargaining to avoid potential political risks. Political payoffs or bribery is not an approach we recommend in any way. However, competitors may use it, so beware. Reasons a government encourages foreign investment: to accelerate the development of the economy, to create local employment, to transfer technology, to generate export sales, to stimulate growth and the development of the local industry, to conserve foreign exchange. U.S. government and other agencies help companies seek opportunities worldwide, like the Department of Commerce, the International Trade Administration, the Export-Import Bank, the Foreign Credit Insurance Association, the Agency for International Development, and the Overseas Private Investment Corporation.